We're just talking about running, Brandon, your favorite
Yeah.
thing in the world.
Running. I know it's about that time. I think it's really hard to run in the winter, but I'm excited to like get back to it. Last summer was my first summer, so it's totally
So
different.
now are you motivated by races? Do you start some races? No, just
No
run.
way. No way. I'm motivated by like last night I played basketball for 2 hours. So like for me, it's like if that can get easier and if I can make sure that my body's healthy to like have a better chance of like withstanding that for a little bit longer,
Yep.
then I'm going to do it because I don't know, when I run, there's obviously weaknesses that show up and it's like the same things that show up when I play basketball. So,
Yep.
for me, like my knees have a lot to do with that and muscles not firing the way they should from surgeries. So I'm trying to I feel like my left Achilles is just like not like firing the way it should, and like I just don't want to be one of those 30-year-old guys that tears his Achilles or whatever. I don't really. So I'm trying to. That's how I view running right now for me, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like that's my motivation.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's a lot
Do you
of
have
our
any-
motivation, whatever you're doing, strength training, these classes, running, whatever it is, it's kind of to prevent and to push off all those things 10 years down the road, not necessarily what today is
Yeah.
bringing.
Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure.
And just to feel like more energetic. I feel like it just helps your energy throughout the day with all the things that life throws at you, unexpected things for you kids for sure.
Yeah.
Like, for me, it's like the busyness of my job. So more kids, but like, I feel like it puts me in like, if I do that, then I can feel better doing all this stuff.
For sure. I actually had a member when we made the switch over to the new building. She kind of did a little post and put it together, and it was the coolest thing in the world. And she said that exact same thing. She's like, I'm not always like, I don't always see the weight loss. I don't always see the muscle gain. I don't always see like whatever else people are like jumping on board for. But she said, I know every day that I force myself to get out of bed at 5 a.m. I know by 6:15 I've completed the hardest part of my day. Like whatever life throws at me that day, like I'm good with it because I just completed the hardest part of it.
Yeah.
So
Do you find that mentality? Like, is that something you use? I've never like necessarily had that mentality. So I think that's really cool, but I saw it as part of my day, not so more as like, this is the hardest thing I'm going to do today. Like
yeah.
anything else after this is easier. I guess that's just a little different.
Yeah, you just wait, you give it another 10, 15 years and then I'll ask.
Yeah, exactly.
I actually think that's probably, and maybe I am completely off here, but I would guess that's a little bit more of a maybe female mindset in the aspect that it's a lot easier like when you start having kids and you start focusing your time and attention on them. And then all of a sudden you're here in your mid 30s and your kids are getting older and you just haven't paid attention to yourself for a very long time. And you're taking on stress of the kids and the to-do list and the finances and like the grocery list and like all these things. And so I feel like somehow when you get yourself, whatever your reason is, when you get yourself back to fitness, it is definitely like, I just took 45 minutes of me time and now I complete, like, that is the hardest thing, whether it was a hard workout or whether it was just hard
to get up,
to get out of bed, or hard to set aside 45 minutes of time instead of going to your to-do list and doing something else. Like whatever that hard actually is, you did it. And now you're ready to face all those other things that have been beckoning at you for the last 15 years.
Yeah, I'm not necessarily like how you do one thing is how you do everything. I think that's true in some cases, but I definitely think practicing discipline in one area definitely carries over into other areas of life. So if you can get that down with fitness, I think that definitely carries over to nutrition or taking care of your kids or your job. And I think that's why I love starting a day with that is, like you said, if it's the hardest thing you do or even just making that decision to get out of bed, I think that just carries over into the rest of the day. I know for me, even that's a big why, just continuing to train. And some people are like afternoon people. I know Jaden likes working out in the afternoon, but I think that's why I love it in the morning so much is I feel like it's just a great start to the day. Not only that sense of doing something hard, but just the cognitive effects, just feeling awake, a little caffeine with it to get you going. So I just feel like there's no better way to start the day.
If you're like task oriented at all, which I'm learning, I am much more task oriented than I ever thought I was. Like you just completed, like you just crossed off one thing to do right away in the morning. Yeah. And so like even that part of it is kind of a cool mental boost to start your day.
Yeah. And that's the cool thing about like classes too, is it just becomes a part of your schedule. Like you don't even have to think about it eventually. Like this is just part of my day. I don't have to, eventually you don't have to make that decision to wake up. It's just what you do. And I think that maybe hard to get into, but eventually, as soon as it just becomes part of your day, part of your habit, it suddenly becomes easier, even if the workouts themselves are still hard. It just becomes part of what you're doing. And like I said, that carries over into other areas of life. It just becomes, part of your habits, part of what you're doing day to day. So
yes, absolutely.